And welcome back. Our next guest is the founder and executive director of Meet the Writers Incorporated, and she's with us today to highlight the work of the National Ambassador for Children's Literature and to promote her organization's upcoming events. So please welcome to the show, Michele Weisman. Michele, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been doing some great things in our schools throughout the 5 boroughs, and I know it's going to go further and it's going to get bigger and bigger. Tell us a little bit, for the people who are just tuning in for the first time, tell us a little bit about Meet the Writers Incorporated.
Thank you so much, Bob. It's great to be here again. Meet the Writers is a literacy nonprofit. We promote literacy by connecting inspiring authors to students in New York City schools. And we had an amazing year last year. We reached over 10,000 students and distributed more than 6,000 books. So it's been an amazing journey. And this year it just feels like it's blowing up with kids back in schools. So I think there's going to be a lot of activity this year.
Yeah, and September was an important month for literacy and literature application or appreciation. How far do you believe Meet the Writers has come in helping foster the love of reading for our youth? Because a lot of people, they want to get into reading, and they need people and organizations like yours to just help nudge them along a little bit.
Yeah, we do try to nudge students along. When we go into a school, every student on the grade participates in the program, whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say, nah, I don't need a book, or I don't have to do this, but they do have to do it. It's part of the curriculum. And often kids will not be as excited at the start of a program, but once they meet the author and once they talk to the author, they want to get a book too. They want to get a book signed. They want to read it. So I do see that it does create this excitement over books.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight, I have this incredible partnership with PS
Yes.
MS 89 Williamsbridge on Mace Avenue in the Bronx. And so I'm very excited about that.
heard.
We brought an author to 3rd to 8th grade last year.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue this year. So it's been really exciting.
Yeah, and that's big for students and teachers, is that right?
For students and teachers, yes. And we bring authors that are exciting and contemporary authors, but also authors that are part of the curriculum. Like at MS 89, kids were reading a book called Trash Vortex: How Plastic Pollution is Choking the World's Oceans. And we found the author in Brussels. So we were able to connect an author in Brussels with students in the Bronx. And it was really amazing.
And that is deep, because we hear a lot of people talking about that. What did the students get out of that book?
Well, I think when they read the book, they learned about this huge problem of trash in the oceans. But the author also talked about how it was to write nonfiction, that she thought it was even more fun than writing fiction because the characters were true. These are real characters, and
Yeah.
she felt like fact was even more exciting than fiction. And so that was really fun. I felt like she shared her excitement for writing about real things.
Real characters, real trash.
Real trash,
Real
real
pollution.
characters, real stories about real people, which were more exciting and stranger than fiction.
Yeah, you always have something coming up, something waiting in the wings that I think we should know more about. Tell us about what you have coming up.
Well, there's a few things. We'll see what we have time for. I have this event this week with, as you mentioned, the National Ambassador for Children's Literature, Jason Reynolds.
Yeah.
And he's going to be talking to all middle school students at a school in Brooklyn called the Brooklyn Green School. So all students read a book called Stamped: Racism, Anti-Racism, and You, a book that the author wrote with Ibram X. Kendi. And I'm excited because we're doing this program on Thursday, and 7th and 8th graders are going to lead the conversation. They're going to start by asking questions to Jason.
Wow.
So I'm
That's great.
really excited about that.
Yeah. That's one. What's the other one coming up?
The other thing I'd love to talk about is I have a partnership this year with the New York City Public School Literacy Collaborative,
All
and
right.
we're doing events for pre-K to 12th grade. So every student in public school in New York City could log on to a free event by a contemporary and exciting author. We are planning the events now. They're going to be on our calendar soon. And so that's free for everyone in public school. So I think that's going to be really exciting.
And then the third thing?
Well, I guess the third thing, if I have more time, is to talk about how we get, it's not just the authors, but it's also the books. So one of the things we work with schools is to make sure that a kid meets an author, hopefully at some point an author who looks like them or their family or their parents, and so really reflects on their life, but they also get a book to keep that's signed by the author. And I hope that's exciting for them, that they have a book that they get to hold and they get to bring home and read a few times. So I'm really excited about that.
How do schools and students get more involved in what your organization is doing? Can a school sign up to participate?
Yes, so on our website, they could just go to meetthewriters.org and they'll fill out a form and I'll respond. You know, within half a day, they'll get a response and we could talk about how we could collaborate. And as the years have gone on, our network just keeps growing. So we work with schools in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, and in Queens. Still working on Staten Island, but we're open to that too.
Yeah.
And also always looking for local authors who have written a great book. So schools, authors, and of course, funders. We're always looking for all of those things as we continue to grow.
Yeah. So far, you've reached more than 20,000 students and about 150 visits citywide so far.
Yeah.
It's growing.
I think we're even up to 35,000 students, you know, just keeping an account. But so it's been amazing.
That's great.
I guess one of the things that strikes me is that authors come and most authors say yes and also bring their true selves. Like kids ask easy questions like, how many books have you written? But also hard questions like, why is writing this book important to you?
Yeah.
And authors answer.
Yeah, that's great. Do you think about extending it beyond the 5 boroughs?
Potentially, where there has been some interest. I've talked to a school in California.
Yeah.
There's one in Boston. There are other literacy nonprofits around the country, and I often speak to them, and we share best practices. But sure, we're open.
We're growing.
Yeah.
We're open.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing
growing.
now.
We're open. Yeah.
Michele, thank you so much. Give us that website one more time.
Yeah, meetthewriters.org. I'd love to hear from anyone who's interested.
Thank you, Michele. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Michele Weisman, founder and executive director, Meet the Writers Incorporated. We'll take a break right here, but coming up next, we have Bobby C. He just stepped into the room. Kaboom. He has the latest in the world of sports next.